Hey everybody. So last month I held a giveaway and I asked everybody if they could fill in a form for what kind of content they'd like me to see or what I'm doing well. I thought it'd be fun to read through some of these because some of the answers were just silly. Others, well, I had to disqualify them because they didn't answer it properly, and a lot of them were some good ideas. I want to go through what content I will be doing in the future, and let's jump right into it. So I like the videos of cars in rainy weather. Yeah, me too. It's relaxing, isn't it? So in the future, I'm going to put a compilation of rainy weather drives. I'm going to cut the engine sounds so that people can relax to it, and I'm going to let it just loop. It's not going to be driving a fast car. It's just going to be something that people can put on to relax to at the end of the day, because I find that, content like that is just easy to watch and relaxing. So why not? Why not? Not everything about racing has to be super fast, right? Next one was car custom design. Okay, so I've made a few liveries so far in iRacing using Trading Paint's builder tool. I could do a video where I go over that tool. It is a paid tool. Or I could show you how to paint a car in Assetto Corsa, the content manager or custom shop there. I'm getting some ideas, but we'll go through it in the future. Racing Sim POV. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit difficult because in the room that I'm in, there's basically the wall behind me is entirely my girlfriend's closet. So I don't know if you want to see her shoes and her stuff like that. But it's really, my POV when driving is actually quite boring. I'm looking towards a window, and now because it's summer and I have to get a fan going, I'm going to be playing with that even more. So I think I'll just leave it at I'm not going to do that because it's kind of boring what you'd be looking at. You'd be looking at a wall and a window and a fan running. I've thought about doing that before with the camera on the VR headset, but it doesn't work quite as I expected it to. But yeah, there's that. More Vegas F1 content. Yeah, it would be fun to do some previous years of F1 Grand Prix, not just Vegas, but that's a commonality I saw in these, more F1 content, and I definitely do want to do more F1 stuff because it's great. Sorry about the background noise, I'm on a very busy street and this mic can pick up stuff. Initial D playlist is all I can ask. Got you. I just am releasing, well, by the time you see this video, it's actually probably going to be past, but I decided to make a creative video called the Nürburgring Eurobeat Dash, heavily inspired by Hyundai's Nürburgring Eurobeat Dash, except for I put it to the Porsche cars that I've been driving around Nürburgring, Nordschleife. So look forward to that. It starts off in the POV just like Hyundai's is on a foggy day. And, it was really fun. It was fun to put all that together. So I'm hoping that you look forward to it. It's a premiered video. If it does well enough, I'll definitely create some more. And instead of doing stuff like that, I'll probably end up, as I get better at drifting, do like toge runs, because I eventually want to get to that, but I'm learning how to drift very slowly. I'm enjoying rallying more than I'm enjoying drifting, so there's that. Challenge runs, unique playthroughs like completing a game with unusual restrictions or aiming for specific achievements. I do like the idea of that. I think that's going to be more for a full-time kind of experience because I like to look at what I do as somewhat unique as it is already. But given that I'm playing in VR, and while a lot of people do race in VR, I don't see as many people streaming it or capturing it. But yeah, with unusual restrictions or aiming for specific achievements, kind of like what I went through with AC Evo, I decided to go through the entire license progression, which sadly got reset after this update. Oh man, I am really frustrated with their progress. Anyways, but that's definitely something to consider in the future. Community-driven events, hosting multiplayer tournaments, or reacting to fan-submitted gameplay clips. Yeah, I really want to do that, but I'd like to see the community engage a bit more. Because if I put that out, you know, maybe a few people will end up joining me. Either way, I would definitely do something like fan-submitted gameplay clips, more reacting to kind of stuff. Sometimes it's easy to record, sometimes it's not. Next one is more relaxing videos like one in this giveaway. The vibe of the giveaway video was definitely not relaxing. It was supposed to be motivational and flashy and stuff like that. Oh, okay. No. I understand what they mean by that. Yeah, okay, yes. Like I said in the first one, I'm definitely going to be doing more of that. More snow, more rain, more elements. Yeah. Racing game comparison videos would be cool. Or a few videos on old racing games and how they have improved over the years. Yeah. I would definitely love to have some more time to play more racing games. Which, you know, other than iRacing and Assetto Corsa, I basically just, when I have free time, play Asphalt Legends Unite, which is an Android game, and the same thing with Street Kart on iOS. Anyways, yeah, racing game comparison videos. I could do something like Assetto Corsa versus Assetto Corsa Competizione and Evo, or ACC versus iRacing, stuff like that, if that would be helpful for sure. Now that I've played them enough to understand the differences, main differences between iRacing and Assetto Corsa is the brake feel, I find. You really have to know your brakes on your vehicle, otherwise your race is going to feel a bit different. It's just one thing I can think of off the top of my head. I would love to see some more Fernando Alonso memes, jokes. Good taste, you know. Fernando's not doing that great this year, unfortunately, but yeah, I'll definitely post more of those and just F1 memes, jokes, and news in general, because yeah, it's still something that I follow. Growing up with Formula One and whatnot, right? More free-to-play games. Yeah, I could definitely look into more free-to-play games. Because for the most part, iRacing needs a subscription, unless you join with the FIA. But even then, that's a $10 donation, and a lot of the content is not free. But yeah, there isn't a lot of free games, except for, you know, I'm like Asphalt Legends Unite. It's free, but you pay to buy car blueprints, car decals, all of that stuff to get ahead, essentially. So I could do like mobile games and some of them as well. More of a variety of racing games, including Forza Horizon, Need for Speed. I would love to play Forza because they just keep on doing an amazing job with that. I don't know if Forza Motorsport is on PC. Never really considered purchasing it, to be honest, but looking at the game and the gameplay stuff, it looks like a fun arcade racer, so I definitely like to do more of that, because it kind of reminds me of Need for Speed. I'm going to be making a homage for Need for Speed Most Wanted. if you're a millennial like me, you probably grew up playing that if you had any sort of interest in racing. But you'll see it. Yes, more F1, please. You got it. More F1. More YouTube shorts. Yeah, I'm going to take a break from recording content to make shorts of my content and make more shorts. I love seeing the in and outs of a proper sim setup. That's the thing. My sim setup is not very proper. The wheelbase is holding on by dear life. It's not supposed to be supported on that. A really good video on that would be Daniel Morad. If I could give you some tips, because it's kind of hard to film unboxings in my apartment given it's so small, but when we rent or buy a house, I definitely end up doing something more. But yeah, like an aluminum rig that's all screwed in tight, ergonomic, your back's supported, your legs are far out enough, stuff like that. Daniel Morad has a great video on that. I would suggest looking into it. I can't really film that in my current situation, as I literally have a strip of a room to record in. That's why the camera angle is weird. I don't think you want to see my girlfriend's clothes behind me. I may end up getting a green screen at some point, but again, still, because of how densely occupied my apartment is, it's kind of hard to do stuff like that. So in the future, definitely more goofy videos. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be a lot more silly on live stream, and try not to be as serious, because let's face it, everybody just wants to unwind after the day, right? Been watching Matt Malone a lot, and he's kind of like the goofy uncle of sim racing right now, and I absolutely adore him and his content. So yeah, if I could have any sort of dream life, it would be iRacing all day, making people laugh, and getting better at sim racing as well. Classic games like Asphalt 8 or Need for Speed Most Wanted. Yeah. I think I'm just going to record the Android Asphalt game. Don't know much about the classic ones. It's kind of funny saying classic and Need for Speed Most Wanted in the same sentence. It feels like yesterday when I did that. But I will. Yeah, I'll definitely look into emulating Need for Speed. I'd love to get the wheel working with the game, because I think that would be fun, as most of us played on controller when we were a kid. Map inputs, give that a shot. I'm sure it's possible. More cowbell. Yeah, more cowbell. News about upcoming games, updates, and mods. I'll try to post more of that in the community things. Because of how my content is released, sometimes it doesn't come out until quite a bit afterwards, as I'm kind of like doing a pipeline, I suppose, of content. Testing of racing video games. Yeah, I'm technically doing that with AC Evil, but when I get something that I'm interested in, I'll definitely play it. I've kind of overlooked Rensport, which is free to play, because you can only use it on monitors right now unless you use some sort of back-end, hack-end VR support, which doesn't really work well with mine. But eventually I'll play that and test it out. I liked what I had access to. Sorry. More Mario. More Mario? I've never played Mario on this channel at all. I also don't own a Nintendo, so probably not going to do that, but I will make a fun Mario Kart inspired video. I have that in the pipeline. I like the VR video you just posted. Awesome. I'll have to look back and see what that one was. Sorry. A little phlegmy, just getting over being sick. I love funny track car, smiley face. I'll continue to look for some silly ones like the T-Rex car or the Simrig car mod. Assetto Corsa is great for that. More vibing songs? Yeah, absolutely. With streams, I'll try to come up with a playlist for it. I know there's people that are like, I love the engine sounds, don't play music over it. And there's people that are like, I don't mind a little bit of music in the background. So it's just trying to make everybody happy. Some Forza Horizon gameplay? Yeah, eventually. Eventually I will. I enjoy seeing more rallycross content. Yeah. I really am liking rallycross and rally in general, so eventually, as I progress through iRacing's rallycross, the dirt road area, I'll do more rallycross. Eventually, you get out of the VW bug. Actually, you wouldn't know. You get out of the VW bug and you get the option to rock out on the Subaru, so I'll probably end up buying the Subaru and doing a couple of the courses there. It's not a very popular content, but either way, maybe that'll be my niche. Somebody just typed in RBR, and I'm like, Richard Burns Rally? I was talking with a couple of guys in the ASN Canada Discord, and they mentioned that there is a way to play it in VR, so I'd definitely give that a go. Like I said, love Rally. This one's funny. You like racing, I like RPG. So you won't like my answer to this question, but anyway, RPGs. I wish I could make this like a total variety gaming channel, but in order for that to happen, I'd need to go full time. I have a 9 to 5, and I usually run out of energy around 9 unless I'm like pumping energy drinks, which is not good for you. You don't get good sleep when you're on caffeine. Lots of caffeine. I would love to do that. How about a middle ground? Chocobo Racing. It's an RPG with racing elements. It was a PS1 game from the Final Fantasy universe that had Final Fantasy characters in it, and you were a chocobo that raced against them. That one sends me back. I'd love to do something like that, some sort of weird series like that. So I definitely emulated games. More F1? Yes, absolutely, more F1. Funny compilations. Yeah, I'd love, the more I record iRacing content, I'd love to do little mashups of all the crazy crashes, because when I'm in VR and somebody crashes or I crash, it's incredibly apparent. But when people are on single screen, unless they see it in front of them, they don't usually notice it. So definitely a mix of crashes in VR and the replays. More tips for newbies. Yep, 100%. Now that I've spent a good few months playing most of the Sims, I will definitely end up doing a video eventually about tips for each of the games that I'm playing, like Assetto Corsa, Content Manager, hands down, absolutely have to get it. It completely transforms the game. Assetto Corsa Competizione. Installing liveries is actually very simple. You just need to know where to drop the files. iRacing, I learned a gem from Jaxer, I believe. No, it's good sim racing, that when you go into a session, there's a drop down for practices, and instead of being with the main people in a full lobby, you can practice in sub-server, so it's just you. So you're practicing at the conditions that the race is set to. I find that very helpful because, sometimes I get a little antsy around other drivers when I'm practicing. So, yeah. Let's plays. I kind of look at my content as a let's play. Like, I'm playing, iRacing. But I get what that is. Like, go and play Need for Speed Most Wanted. That's a Let's Play, for sure. I'd love to do that now that I have a racing wheel. My fave content will always be gameplays and reactions, mate. Gotcha. I'm gonna keep on pumping out the gameplay video. I'd love to do some reactions and stuff. More F1 races in Assetto Corsa. Yep. So I think with all this, I'm going to continue the F1 2024 championship. Didn't see the viewership that I was expecting for as popular as it was, but there's enough comments here to say, hey, you should go back and do it. So I'm going to go back and do it. Would you consider product reviews like racing wheels and pedals? Yes. However, I need more space to do that. I can give you an incredibly quick review of the Moza gear that I've gotten. The plus side, everything feels so much more realistic. I'm braking more realistically, which is shaving off time for my laps, and I'm getting quicker and quicker. The force feedback is much stronger, and I have it halved. So I'm like, when I really up it, it's probably going to be crazy. I'm definitely feeling much more in the road, so that I'm, it's more realistic, and definitely a game changer to be able to change the wheels. I have a GT style wheel, and I just have a normal wheel as well for rallycross, which I'm probably going to end up modding to be larger, like have a larger rim or a deeper rim for drifting and rallycross. So like those are the pluses. The downside is I've had it disconnect a good few times, either before or during a race, and I can't tell if that's my USBs or if that's the software just being uppity. I'll also sometimes start recording things in Assetto Corsa and it'll like forget. So the Moza software isn't the best. It's very customizable, which is cool, but at the same time, I think I just need to be patient and wait for updates on it. I'm happy for the most part with it, though. Very expensive stuff. Definitely look into Logitech or Thrustmaster if you're new to it. And that's about that. That's all I can say. If you're looking to get into sim racing, Logitech and Thrustmaster make very affordable options. And then if you want to get more into competitive things, I would look into Moza or Fanatec and get into their next stage up. Expect to spend $500 for a budget wheel and anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 for the next step up to have competitive equipment. Wreckfest 2 maybe. I've never looked into Wreckfest 2, but if it's carnage, kind of like Burnout, that might be interesting. Asphalt Legends Unite is like really wrecky, very goofy fantasy racing, so that might tickle your fancy. I'm going to find a way to record it. I know that you can play the game on the PC, so I might end up just doing crossplay over that. But I definitely do want to play some more that are weird or a bit off the beaten path and aren't just competitive racing. Again, stuff like that, I'd love to make this a full-time thing to do. Yeah. Anyways, I want to see more old, weird, lost gems. Hehe. Hehe. Something like Chocobo Racing, for example, is what I'd consider a weird, old, lost gem. There's a lot of them, like the some of the PS1 F1 games are really weird. Like I remember them replacing Jacques Villeneuve with generic Williams Racer or something because he didn't give them permission to use his name in the video game. I definitely like to go back and play the old F1 games that kind of got me interested in F1, and going to see it with my parents and my brother, stuff like that. But for sure, I'll look into stuff like that. Again, I really need your continued support to make this more of a full-time thing for me, because creating content takes a lot of time, and if only I had all the time in the world. Either way, this is a really good right, and more Japanese vehicles. Yeah, 100% for sure. Definitely going to be seeing some real ones at the end of the year, but definitely big fan of Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Subaru, for sure. Love them. Absolutely love them. May end up replacing my Honda with a Subaru in real life in the next year, as my lease comes to an end, so we'll see how that ends up going. I'll probably end up doing a drive along video sometime, as I just got a GoPro knockoff, so definitely take you guys for a drive in it before I end up selling it or returning it. And yeah, but either way, holy smokes, only almost 30 minutes. Wow. I just gotta say thank you for all these suggestions. I'm gonna action as many of them as possible, but there were at least 20 to 30 of these, so I'll need some time to comb through them, and action it, of course. So really appreciate those of you that subscribed, filled this out, and participated in the giveaway. The winner has already been contacted and sent the gift card. Unfortunately, the vast people have not sent the first gift card to the first person, but I hope that they end up getting to them, because that really sucks. That was a big spend, and it's just sitting somewhere in limbo for this person. Oh boy. Oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. So thank you for participating. Thank you for taking the time to fill this out and not put gibberish. And stick around for the next year. I'll definitely be actioning as many of these as possible. So I appreciate you. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye bye.